Hey guys, so one of the things that I wanted to share with you today with your Kajabi account or getting your website or even a landing page sorted is sometimes we may have a need to pop in an image in places where Kajabi do not have what we call an image box. So you have to get a little bit tricky in terms of where you want to place your images. And I'm just on a page here that I've been working on. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So this particular section of the page here is actually a testimonial. So we've sort of fiddled with the testimonial slightly to make it look more like a quote, I suppose, that from Brittany. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but on the actual testimonial section, we don't have the ability to add images or anything else into that section. And that's what this is here. This My Dream for You is actually an image. If I click on it, you'll see we go open image and new tab, and you can see over here that it's definitely, well, you can't really see it because it's all in black, but it is an image. So I wanted to show you a little trick of how we would get an image uploaded onto your site in a spot that there isn't normally room to have an image. And what I'm showing you is here. So right here, if we click on this, you'll see this is actually, if we go over here, so this is a testimonial area. And so I'll go back out and I'll just quickly show you. If we scroll down, we can see we have testimonials. Okay, and I'm using a special PNG developer template theme, but this would work exactly the same within your normal Kajabi Premier theme where you want to add a testimonial or a particular type of block that doesn't have the ability to put images in certain spots where you want them. This is what we do. This is how we get around it. And the reason I'm stuck at the moment with this is because I have to actually redo, this is inside Brittany's actual website area. So we're not in a landing page builder right now. And as you may or may not know, when we're working in websites, the actual website builder in here, within our themes, and we go into customize, we don't have a lot of room to move. There's not a lot of ability to make changes and customize things, certainly not as much as what we have in a normal Premier landing page theme. So I just wanted to run that past you. So this is what we're going to do. So the area that we need to swap out some text and replace it with an image is actually in the hero banner. So if we click on hero, we'll see that the only ability that we have is to have a title, which is where our current title is, or to pop text in. There's no blocks that we can add. There's only like call to action blocks, but there's no way that we can add an image. And we actually, because of the text and the type of text, it's a specialized font that we're using, we've been putting just like very short, minimal, small headings as an image rather than actually going and changing out the font in it, only because we've used it in certain spots. I probably wouldn't recommend doing this for like your main font. If you're wanting to have a fair amount of text in a particular font, don't use images. We're only doing this in small spots and replacing headings where we can't normally get it in. So how we would go about and do this, I'm going to show you. So we can't actually do anything from within the website builder area. So I've opened up a normal page, like a landing page, through page builder that we're working on. And what we would normally do is go and click, or like even if you just open up, let's just go and add a section. And the easiest one to do is just choose your custom content. Click add. We're not going to use any of this. We're actually going to delete everything after this. This is just in order to be able to get an image. So what we want to do is add an image, and you're going to upload, go and find the image from your computer or your Dropbox account or Google Drive or wherever you have the image stored. And there's our image there that we want. We're going to open that up, pop it in. So Kajabi's now popping that image onto the page. And what effectively we're tricking Kajabi in a way, I suppose, to do is we're saying, look, we've uploaded an image, and we'll just change the background color so that we can clearly see where it is. We've dropped an image now into Kajabi's I guess if you want to call it like storage area. So Kajabi now recognizes that that is an image and it is within the back end of Kajabi. So what we would then do is go over to where the image is, hover over it and right click, and then you're going to open the image up in a new tab. Now we're not going to be able to see this because it was black and it's obviously on black. What we're trying to do is in the URL you will see here, we have this Amazon AWS. This is basically saying this is where that image is being stored in the back end of Kajabi. So what you need to do is copy that URL, copy that line of text. We'll come back to this because we're going to delete that area. But what we want to do now is we're going to go over into our musings area, which is where we have this. And I want you to open up your source code. Okay. And in our source code, what we're going to do is we're going to drop in our new, the URL that we've just copied. And this is basically saying, look, we want to go out and get hold of this image, okay? In order to do that, we need to write some special code. And you'll see I've already started putting it in here. It's image source. We need to put our image name. We can have an alt tag in there, and then we're telling Kajabi what the width is and the height, and that will become important. You'll see when we've done this, because we need to make sure that the image becomes responsive. And we're going to now remove our image name. We're going to drop it over the top of image name so we can see it's now within our inverted commas, within our quote. Here, image source equals, make sure you have those quotes at the beginning and end of it. And then we have our alt. So alt, you could say musings. Okay, so all we're doing is telling Google, if you're unable to pull the picture up, this is what it actually says. It just says the words musings. And then we can see that we have it set to a width of 100% and the height is going to be auto. So let's click OK and we'll see what that now looks like. So now we can see that it's actually dropped it into our text box, and here it is on our site. So we've effectively said, okay, we realize we don't have an image box in there, but by telling Kajabi using our source code to go and find the image stored within the back end of Kajabi, and here is how we want it presented, we can kind of trick Kajabi into putting an image on here, which is what we've done. Now there's a couple of extra spaces in there, so we don't want those. I'm just going to delete those out. And now, of course, we can get rid of our title. We don't need that in there anymore. So we get rid of that, and we can see we now have our new heading for this page in our very fancy looking text, and it's actually an image. Now, I'll quickly show you what that looks like as well on a mobile. So we can see that it drops down and it's gone across the whole page. Now, I don't know, like it's kind of crossing over Brittany's face, so we may or may not want to do that. So probably what I might suggest is actually to go and put a space or a line above it, and by doing that we just use the break code and that should drop it down slightly. So I'm just wanting to, there we go, that's a little bit nicer. So it's not across Brittany's face. That was what I was trying to make sure, that it didn't go across her face. And that's how we would normally sort of play with the spacings to get that correct. And then I would hit save. And that is how we can trick Kajabi into putting an image into a spot where we're not supposed to be putting images because it's a text box. And the only thing left to do is to go back over to your little play test area and make sure you delete that section, because we now no longer need that. But that's exactly what I did to get the My Dream for You heading in here, because it is like a heading and it's actually text. And if we open that up, you can see I've done exactly the same thing. Put in the image source of where it can be found, the name of what the text is, and we've also got a width. This one has actually been set to a certain size, because for that one, because it goes the full length of the page, you don't want it to expand like on a desktop to be that entire size. So that's why we have actually set that to a certain width, but I would always leave the height to auto so that it does expand, contract and shrink as it's supposed to be. But that is my little trick for you today. That is how you pop in an image where it's supposed to be text.